Welcome. We are in the present session attempting to have an overview of first year of 4 years integrated course of Vedic Mathematics for high and higher secondary classes as their mainstream discipline of knowledge. This overview is to be in a phased manner as the values and features of this course are in compactified states. The sequential unfolding of this format is inherent feature of organization of Vedic knowledge, and as such parallel to it are the embedment of the values of this course. Therefore, to have an overview of this integrated course, we have to have sequential reach to this course in its year-wise organization. This 4 years course begins with 3-space mathematics in first year. The first year focus is upon 3-space mathematics. The Ganita Sutras 1 to 4 and Ganita Sutras 1 to 4 are the mathematics text. So space as 3-space and text as Ganita Sutras 1 to 4 and Sutras 1 to 4 is the broad feature of values and features of this year's course. We have to begin with this indexed feature being a space and sutras, 3-space and Ganita Sutras 1 to 4 and Sutras 1 to 4 are the tag, the designation, the name, the topical index, and the connected aspects. Therefore, we shall, while having an overview of the first year course of class 9, as 3-space and as Ganita Sutras 1 to 4 and Sutras 1 to 4, our concentration is to be upon 3-space as it manifests in the format of its representative regular body, namely hypercube 3, popularly known as cube. Our mental state, because of this focus, is certainly going to be of the features as if we are putting ourselves within a cube. We are trying to be parallel with the values and features of the manifested setup of 3-space body. Being within a cube as such will be the flag figurative representation of this year's course. Naturally, sequentially, in next year, we will be having our position within 4-space, within hypercube 4, followed to be within hypercube 5 and hypercube 6 respectively. With this pointed attention and focus, we have to concentrate as to if we come out of this room, if we are in the space outside the 3-space setup, if we are outside hypercube 3, then the space will be presenting itself to us for our existing mental state as a transcendence from the format of a 3-space. So we will be transiting from 3-space to 4-space. As such, the aim and objective of the present year, the first year course of class 9 with focus upon 3 space and Ganita Sutras 1 to 4 and Ganita Sutras 1 to 4 emerges as that we shall perfect our intelligence with respect to the linear order, and simultaneously we shall also equip ourselves with consciousness base as that the mental state, because of the linear order, gets dissolved of its own. Means that we will be acquiring perfection of processing as linear order, and simultaneously we will be having an inherent inbuilt for transition from linear space to a spatial space, from linear dimensional order of 3 space to spatial dimensional order of 4 space is going to be the value index attained. If this attainment is there, if this inherent potentiality stands acquired, then we can say that yes, we had successfully taken, we have been successfully through this year's course. In this background, let us have attention upon the text of Ganita Sutras 1 to 4 and Ganita Sutras 1 to 4. Firstly, let us be through the text of Ganita Sutras 1 to 4. Eka adhikena purve niklim navasta charamam dashata udharvatiryek bhyam pravartya yojet. Parallel उपसूत्रास और अनुरूपेण शिष्यते शेष संज्ञा आद्यम अध्ययन अंत्यम अंतेन केवले सप्तकम गुणयात. We know that these 4 sutras are sequentially organized, and likewise 4 upsutras are also sequentially organized. Sutras make their own self-sustained system, and upsutras as well make their own self-sustained system. However, the gaps between the consecutive sutras are bridged by the parallel upsutras. The gap between the mathematical domains of Ganita Sutra 1, Ekadhiken Purve, and Niklim Navsta Charvam Dashata is bridged by Anurupen. Like that, the gap between Niklim Navsta Charvam Dashata and Udharv Triyek Bhyam is to be bridged by Shishyate Shesh Sangya. And step ahead, the gap between Udharv Triyek Bhyam and Pravarta Yojet is going to be bridged by Adyam Adden, Antyam Anten. The transition from Pravarta Yojet for the next phase and stage of the next quarter of the Ganita Sutras text is going to be in the form of, with the help of, along the format of Kevale Saptakam Gunyat. This integrated format of Ganita Sutras and Upsutras will make this text of 4 sutras and 4 Upsutras as a text of 8 steps, and sequentially it will be Ganita Sutra 1 Ekadhiken Purve, followed by Ganita Upsutra 1 Anurupen, to be followed by Niklim Navsta Charmam Dashata Shishyate Shesh Sangya Udharv Triyek Bhyam Adyam Anden Antyam Anten Pravarta Yojet and Kevale Saptakam Gunyat. These 8 steps are the foundational steps. The Vedic approach, as per this integrated format, is of potentialities which unify arithmetic, algebra, geometry, and beyond by being beyond means that the manifested creations permit transcendence. How there can be transcendence from these arithmetic, algebraic, and geometric operations is a big challenge for the mind. And it is this challenge which has been successfully met in the Vedic systems. The first year course as a attainment phase and stage is going to be in the form of inherent potentiality for the intelligence to dissolve a mental state because of a linear progression. One may have a pass here and put to oneself that when we chase intellectual history of mind, particularly the attainments of mathematics by us, then the milestones in the form of the problems and the attainment posts in the form of solutions of those problems are to be revisited to appreciate as that the particular problem has been there because of the axioms applied, and the solution there has been by having glimpse of the limitations of the axioms and a way out in the form of transition and transcendence from the existing set of axioms. This we have to learn. This we will be learning. This is to be as that the mind is minding itself. Mind is reading itself. Mind is educating itself. Vedic mathematics is mental mathematics as its processing steps are parallel with the natural existence of the feature of potentialities of creation of intelligence field by the mind itself. Mind creates intelligence. The laws of intelligence field are to be followed. And this is exactly being done by the Ganita Sutras. The organization of the Ganita Sutras is parallel with the natural existence phenomenon of emergence, enrichment, and extinguishing phases and stages, diminishing phases and stages of the intelligence field itself. The mental health and mental death are the barometers which also are to be applied frequently. This what is inherently inbuilt within the processing steps of the Ganita Sutras themselves. Therefore, while we will be through these sutras, we will not remaining concentrated upon the simple rendering of the text as it comes to be, like ekadiken purven means one more than before. As this text is availing the letters of Devanagari alphabet, so we have not to remain restricted ourselves only up till the uppermost compacted setup of Devanagari alphabet in the form of letters. We have to transcend, and we have to transcend beneath to the numbers alphabet. Devanagari alphabet is of compactified formats. The uppermost layer is as letters, and the next layer beneath the letters layer is the numbers. On the computer screen are tables of the numbers translation for the letters text of these sutras and upsutras. Ganita Sutra 1 is having its text in the letters form as Ekadhikain Purvain. However, when it stands translated in numbers, then it leads to a range of 16 letters punctuated as 9 letters and 7 letters numbers. And these come to be 6, 4, 2, 7, 2, 4, 6, 8, 1, and 5, 6, 3, 7, 6, 7, 1. Therefore, during this year, we will be acquiring the skill and proficiency of having a translation for the letters text for its conversion into the numbers text. We have to proceed ahead as well. We have not to stop only up till this numbers alphabet, but those phases and stages will follow sequentially in the subsequent years of this course. During this year, during this first year, our focus is to remain upon the letters text translation into the numbers text. This art, this skill, this potentiality is to be in respect of all the sutras and all upsutras. However, during first year, our focus is to remain restricted up till Ganita Sutras 1 to 4 and Ganita Upsutras 1 to 4. Therefore, the first observation as an overview is that during this year, we are going to be exposed to the conversion of speaking language mathematics as entities-based values. The geometric bodies and their numbers values will be a reach of this year's course in reference to 3 space only. Therefore, our concentration when is to be sequentially of this glimpse. This glimpse is going to be that we shall be having a shift from the letters text to the numbers text. And so we will be having a reach at place value system. The general, popular, uniform, unified setup of 10 place value system is there as a reference place value system. However, we have not to remain restricted only up till 10 place value system. And further, the Ganita Sutra 1 is in a way a single digits progression mathematical processing setup, but a shift from Ganita Sutra 1 to Ganita Sutra 2 will be a shift from single digit numbers to double and higher digits numbers. The beginning here during this course will be to have initial shift from single digit numbers to double digit numbers. 3 place value system is going to be a setup of 8 double-digit numbers. Now, on the computer screen is the grid format as well as the enlistment of these double-digit numbers of 3 place value system. The numerals here are 0, 1, and 2. Place value is 3. The grid is 2 cross 4. And this grid accommodation capacity is of value 8. And parallel to it, there are 8 double-digit numbers. We have to learn. We have to acquire this skill of having tabulations for 3 place value system and also for 6 and other place value systems as organization in the form of double-digit numbers. And step ahead, in the next year, we will be having our focus, prime focus upon triple-digit numbers and then upon quadruple digit numbers as paired pairs of double-digit numbers. This is going to equip our intelligence field with much enrichment. And these enrichment steps are to be there as that 3 space in its manifestation as hypercube 3, the represented regular body of 3 space is going to be of 7 versions. And these 7 versions of hypercube 3 are going to be the representative regular bodies of 7 geometries of 3 space. As such, the intelligence index during this course is to be of the enrichment direction of the format of place value systems and the formats of versions of the manifested bodies. Focus is to remain here only upon 3 space, hypercube 3 as the representative regular body of 3 space is having domain boundary ratio as a raised to power 3 is to 6b square, and there happen to be 7 versions as bodies of the 7 geometries of -3 signature to 0 signature to +3 signature. This is going to be our learning pilgrimage. We will be learning during this year along this format for this pilgrimage, for enrichment of our intelligence to be parallel with the manifested features of 3 space content lump, physical matter as hypercube 3, as cube, which is going to unfold itself as 7 versions. And these 7 versions of cube will be the representative regular bodies of 7 geometries of 3 space. We will be learning much more about it. And a step ahead, the most blissful learning phase and stage of this year is going to be the different roles which are going to be played by 3 space content, 3 space bodies. And these prominent quadruple roles are tabulated on the computer screen as 4x4 grid. This 4x4 grid is of quadruple rows as well as of quadruple columns. Each row is parallel with the four folds of the respective hypercube. The first row, 0, 1, 2, 3, with summation value 6, is parallel with four folds of hypercube 2, that is plane. And here, value 3 as value of the fourth fold brings us face to face with 3 space as origin of 2 space. One shall sit comfortably and to permit the mind to glimpse and imbibe this blissful feature as that 3 space is playing the role of origin of 2 space. A step ahead, 3 space is to play the role of a domain of hypercube 3. It is going to play a role of a solid boundary of a 4 space, and step ahead, 3 space is going to play the role of solid dimension of 5 space. It is this learning which is going to be the price index of being through this course, as by glimpsing it, we will be equipping our intelligence for smooth transition from 3 space to 4 space to 5 space. And also simultaneously, we will be ensuring smooth continuity for a reach at 3 space from 2 space. As 3 space is origin of 2 space, so transition from 2 space to 3 space is going to be through the origin of 2 space. So focus is to remain upon the origin. But the present approach is as if the origin as center is like any other point of the domain. It is here where we are not parallel with the Vedic comprehension. Vedic comprehension is that the center of the cube is of a dual status, like the center of the plane is of a dual status. Center of a surface, center of a square is of dual status, as that firstly it is a point of the plane itself, and further it is the origin, so it is a point of a 3 space. It is this dual status of the center of the origin fold, which is to be comprehended fully. It is this comprehension which will help us approach the place value organization of the numbers in terms of the manifested folds. See on the computer screen is a tabulation which is sequentially taking us to the setup where the first digit number remains constant and the second digit sequentially progresses, and 10 place value system makes 10 as a unit for this progression, and 10 is parallel with summation value of 4 folds of hypercube 3, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. So it is cube which is bridging, and Ganita Upsutra 1, Anurupen, is a letters text of 10 letters. It will help us appreciate, it will help us comprehend, it will make us blissful, as that the Ganita Upsutra 1 is bridging the gap between the mathematical processing steps of Ganita Sutra 1 and Ganita Sutra 2. Ganita Sutra 1 is of linear progression, one step at a time, one unit at a time. Ganita Sutra 2 takes to the place value system, 10 place value system, 9 numeral system, and this shift from value 1 unit to value 10 unit is a shift which requires bridging, and it is this bridging which is there parallel with the summation value of 4 folds of hypercube 3. This way, we will be appreciating as to how the Vedic mathematics is having its unique processing setup. And it is in this context when we will have a revisit to the domain boundary ratio of hypercube 3 as a raised to power 3 is to 6b square, then the spatial boundary of 6 components that way manifests a format for 6 place value system. See, from 3 place value system with 3 as a domain to 6 place value system as spatial boundary of 6 components is bringing us parallel with the unified existence values of the geometric manifested formats of the speaking language mathematics, that is the Vedic mathematics. On the computer screen is 5x7 grid for 6 place value system having accommodation for 35 double-digit numbers. We will be learning this. It is this learning will enrich our intelligence field to have parallel processing for the number values as well as for the geometric features. It is Sankhyanistha and Yoganistha. Sankhyanistha presumes the existence of geometric formats and avails the artifices of numbers. And on the other hand, Yoganistha presumes the existence of values of numbers and avails the dimensional frames. It is this learning, it is this enrichment which is awaiting for us. And with this first overview of a cube which brings before us, which unfolds itself before us in its different form as a domain, as dimensional frame, as spatial boundary, as well as its synthetic setup as 8 sub-cubes, and still further that center is origin seat, and this origin seat is a seat of 4 space. All these features are at very first glance are before us. When in the next session, we will have a revisit, and when we will have revisit for the overview of the structural components of the cubes, then certainly more bliss is awaiting for us. Thank you very much.